someone needs to go to office, someone needs to take to home. So this is how it's going on.
Yeah. Somewhere they are trying to implement the hybrid models.
Yes. And in every industry, this is the same situation is there. So not only pharma, but
Right.
yes.
Okay, I guess, so you may keep your screen shared. We'll begin in like 3-4 minutes.
The chat box feature is on because on the very first slide, I'm seeking some comments on the chat box.
Pardon?
Chat box, make chat box feature available on to each and everyone, because on the first slide, I'm going to ask some questions.
Yeah.
I'm seeking some information from the attendees.
Okay. Sure. Chat box is on for everyone, I guess.
Okay, I've shared the screen. You may see a blank slide.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Soham or Aditi, just try using the chat box feature as an attendee.
Is it working? Because I'm not able to see any message.
Yes.
It is.
Right.
Thank you, Aditi, for that.
Just to add on, like for the first time, we are organizing a webinar which is not, really connected to maybe the general science or chemistry. So it is an allied field we are going to discuss this time for the first time. So we are very glad to have you, Dr. Gaurav. And
Thank you so much. Actually, you
yeah,
can say it is a bit connected to pharma. So you
right.
will see during the presentation how it is connected. It's a very important aspect that you guys are actually taking it from the graduation level, because mostly people will come to know about IP in the PG level. So it is good that you should have the glimpse of that IP.
Right. So, hello everyone. I guess we should begin the session now. I would invite Soham Mohare, the Secretary of ACS-BCP Student Chapter. And I'm Sakshi Kasat, President of ACS-BCP Student Chapter. So welcome again, everyone. And let's begin the session. So, Soham, let's begin.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So, Dr. Shangare, are you familiar with our college? I would have start by asking this question first.
Yeah,
Yes, very well. There is no one who doesn't know BCP in the scientific.
That's good. So, I am Soham More, Secretary for the American Chemical Society's Bombay College of Pharmacy Student Chapter. And for starters, I would like to uh, talk a little bit about our chapter. We are the newest student organization, and we got established in September of 2020. We are the 85th Global International Student Chapter, and we are also the first pharmacy college to establish a student chapter in India. Now, about this topic we are discussing about today, I would have to ask you what kind of session is this? Is it an interactive session, a group discussion, or like a standard webinar?
Yes, actually, it is a very good question in the beginning of the session only. So yes, we will have a continuous discussion from the both the ends. Not it will be not monotonous. It will be kind of a group discussion. So I request all the attendees to be participating in this kind of this session. Whenever you want to ask something, you can unmute yourself and ask at any point. There is no particular time for any questions. Whenever you feel, you can ask me anything related to the topic or related to any question which is there in mind. So it is open for all. No such criteria is there. It will be a group discussion definitely. So looking forward for that one. So over to you.
Okay, sir. I will certainly ask some questions today. And about our today's topic, what exactly are we discussing today? Would you please elaborate a bit on
So I think that will be a part of discussion. Okay, when sites will start the presentation, so how that will be coming to know what is there, because that is how the presentation is structured. So be some patience, and then as soon as the presentation will start, you will let it know every minute. So,
Okay, sir. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Aditi for the introduction.
Thank you, Sohum. We are really grateful to have Dr. Gaurav Shrangare at our chapter today. Dr. Gaurav Shrangare hails from Gurugram, Haryana. He completed his MTech in Drugs and Pharmaceutics in the year 2015 from UD Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. He later joined Wockhardt Limited as research associate for a period of 1 year and got promoted as senior research associate in the same year till the year 2020. He worked as senior research scientist till Feb 2021. He completed his doctorate degree from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University in 2021. He now works as senior research scientist in Fresenius Kabi in Gurugram. In the year 2019, he was awarded with Promising Innovation in Solid Dosage Form at the 6th IPA SCG SciTech Innovation Awards. The project he carried out was development of pharmacokinetic approach-based oral bioavailability enhancer in anti-cancer drugs using Indian plants in 2014. He also have 2 Indian patent applications on his name. Now I invite Dr. Gaurav Shrangare to please begin the session. We also have question and answer session in the end, so please do put your queries in the chat box or unmute yourself to ask. Over to you, sir.
thank you so much, Aditi, for such a nice introduction. Without wasting such time, I will just start with my presentation. So before actually begin, let us play a game, basically a virtual game. So I will show you one picture and you have to tell me what is that to you. So let's begin with that only. So your chat box is open. You have 20 seconds of time to you. So just type your answers. Let me see what is this picture is to you. Yes, you have 20 seconds only. You have to be fast. Yes, half filled glass, half full glass, a glass of water. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, we have very good responses. A glass of water, half filled glass of water. Okay, good. Yes, all the answers are correct, but in the patent way or in the legal way, what actually is this? Why I ask this question to you is that, say, in the optimist will say that the glass is half full. The pessimist will say that the glass is half empty. But the patent attorney or patent agents or the people who are actually working in this domain, will give a legal definition to this as a liquid H2O/6 and open cylindrical vessel. So this is nothing but that answer only, but it is in a legal way form. So jokes apart, but this is how actually patent language is. So it is actually resembling to that. Everyone might have seen Three Idiots movie. So it is that scene when Amir Khan gives the answer to his professor, what is the definition of machine? So he gives a lengthy definition, and then professor asks, "Kehna kya chahte ho bhai?" So this is the same thing. Yes, we will move to the next. With this, I welcome you all to today's webinar, that is the 5W's, all you need to know about patents and pharma IPR. So before actually beginning, go into the details about patents, we should know about what is intellectual property rights means. So IP means intellectual of a man-made thing. It is nothing like which is there in the nature already. So all the thing of the IP term is the product of the mind or the intellect of the human being. In our day-to-day life, we can see many things which are various forms of IP, such as a new movie, a new web series, or an electronic device or book. Practically speaking, each and everything which we use currently is having a definite IP with it. So this IP is divided into two parts, that is industrial IP and copyright. So industrial IP, patents, copyrights, trademarks, and geographical indications are the part of this. And in copyright, there is a literature, artistic works such as musical work, poems, or some novels is a part of copyright. You can see a small yellow triangle at the bottom end of the right bottom of the slide. That is a disclaimer. So we have seen such kind of disclaimers in each and every movie at the start. So what they told that all the characters in this movie are fictitious. There is no resemblance with the living or dead people. So here it is, I'm writing on the same thing. All the content in the presentations is available in the public domain. Nothing is mine. It is all available in the public. And if you find any resemblance with the books and text, so it is just a coincidence. So we'll go forward. So for this journey, the roadmap of patents is actually what is the patents? Okay, what are the patents? Why there is a need of patent? Who can file the patent? When one should file a patent, and where to find a patent. So we will see these 5 W's of the patents that everybody wants to know about. So what is the patent? Patent is actually an exclusively right given to any inventor or any assignee by the government. What right is for? Right to exclude others from making or selling or using the patented invention. So one cannot use if someone is have already patented that invention or process. So it comes with and some private rights. So negative right is what? The patentee has the right to exclude or stop others from exploiting the patented invention. Definitely, this is for the limited period of time, that is 20 years of time. And the private right associated with this is that it is the patentee's responsibility to enforce the patent. And so once if you have got a patent, it has a territorial right. If you have an Indian patent, then that patent will work only in India, not in other countries. So in simple means, we can say a patent is the articulation of science with the help of law for the business. So in just simple definition, patent is an articulation of science, knowledge of science with the help of law for the business, to grow the business. So this is a legal document which is provided by the government of that country. Government of, for India, it is the government of India. We will see how it is structured. So why to patent? Why there is a need arising for that inventions to be patented? So IP protection is a very dynamic thing in the world for any organization. So it comes under some cultural and economical development of that country. One have to think about what actually benefit I am putting into the society by actually protecting the IP. So if one have the patent, so he or that organization can establish a market monopoly for that inventions. So what is this market monopoly? See, if one person is having a patent for that particular product or invention, so he is the king of that market. No one can use that patented invention or patented process to run their business. And in pharma industry, having this 20 years of patent term is very good. Also, this patent is a very good tool for the mutual exchange of technologies. What technology? Technologies between two companies or two organizations are bridging the gap between the academics and the industry. So yes, if academics has a certain patent for certain technologies, they can collaboratively work with the industries and exchange the knowledge and have the patents. Then again, the value, it creates the value for the business profile. And if you're running a business, you have a patent for that business, it creates a value to your business. Again, it is a matter of pride and recognition. If you have a patent, so society will look to you in a very prideful way. So you will be honored on that. So it is a matter of pride and recognition. And also it is a knowledge too. Another important part why one go for patent is that for the revenue generation. So like if you have a patent and you are licensing that patent to some other organizations, so you can have deal with them that the 20% of the revenue will be credited to the patent owner's account. So like in electronics media or electronics domain, the IBM and Apple have n number of patent applications to their name, which are related to certain technologies, certain operating systems. So the other players in that domain or in that area are actually taking licenses from these people and doing marketing. So in the way, IBM and Apple are getting revenue for licensing for that patents. So again, if you have a patent, it is a good thing for your organization for bargaining. So it is an asset for the due diligence of your organization. What if you don't have a patent? You have an invention with you and you have not made it patent. So see this picture, beautiful picture. So this person is he has invented fire, but he had not done a patent for that. So now he's regretting after inventing the fire because all other people are actually using the fire and didn't get any benefit for his invention. So he's now telling to his friend that thanks, I shouldn't have out a patent first, because if he could have a patent first, he could have benefited like it any means, like from market revenue generation or any pride or anything. We have another picture. We can see this man who have invented the wheel, but he has not patented. So this man who have patented the wheel, now see how he is enjoying his life. So it is very important to patent your invention. Any questions so far?
No, sir, it's going
Should
amazing.
I go ahead? Okay, should I go ahead? No questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, no problem. So the next who and where. So who can file a patent application and where to file patent applications? Who can apply? A person claiming to be the true and first inventor or assignee of the person or of that legal representative of the person. So what actually it means? It means you can file the patent application. If you have invented something, if you see that your invention is a patentable invention, then yes, you can go for the patent filing of your patent application, or you can assign that task to some other legal representative or legal firms which can take care of your patent application on behalf of you. What kind of filing is there? So yes, there are physical filing and online filing. So you can file physical hardbound papers, typed papers to the patent office directly, or you can go directly to the online filing mode. Where to file? If it is online filing, definitely a link is there on the website of the particular patent office's sites. You can go there. And for the physical filing, there are 4 branches of Indian Patent Office with the territorial jurisdictions. So, which are there? We have a patent office in Mumbai. So Mumbai Patent Office takes care of the territorial jurisdictions of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Chhattisgarh, and the Union territories of Daman, Diu, Dadra, and Nagar. So if you are a resident of any one of these jurisdictions, then you can go at the Mumbai Patent Office and file in physical form. There is no jurisdiction restriction for the online filing. You can file online at any, if you belong to any jurisdictions. Like in Chennai, it covers Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and some Pondicherry and Lakshadweep, Telangana. New Delhi covers Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, and Union Territory of Chandigarh. And the rest of India is taken care by the Patent Office of Kolkata. So what actually these patents are granted for? The patents are granted for the invention. Now, what do you mean by invention? Invention is any product or process which is an inventive, which is novel, and which have certain utility of industrial application. So, general means patents are granted for product or process which is inventive, novel, and having utility of industrial application. So, these are the actually patentability requirements for a patent application to be granted as a patent. So, we will see one by one what are these requirements. The one very first important thing is novelty. So what do you mean by novelty? Is it a new that absolute inquiry you should have to perform before actually going or before thinking of filing a patent application? Whether my invention findings or my research is a new one. If it is, the answer is no, then I'm sorry, it is not, it will not be qualified as a patent. So when I'm saying it is as a new, so what actually new means? New means that research or that invention should not be published anywhere globally, in any form, like a research article, a review article, any PowerPoint presentation, any poster presentation, any abstract presentation, anything. If it is published anywhere in globally, so that is not known. It is already available to the public. So it should not be known or used earlier. So if the criteria of these 3 questions is fulfilling, then yes, your invention is novel one and you can go for patent application. But not only this, there are certain other 2 also. So that is inventive state. Is it obvious to a skilled person? That question you have to ask of that invention, that whether your invention is obvious. Now, what do you mean by obvious? Because it is a very, very layman's term which we use in daily life, obvious. So it is not a predictable one, like A plus B is equal to C plus D. So it means C plus D is obviously is equal to A plus B. So your invention should not work like this. And skilled person is those persons which are skilled in those particular area. If you are working, your invention is of medicinal chemistry, then a medicinal chemist or a person who is having certain degrees in chemistry is a skilled person in that domain. So if that person believes or sees that your invention is very obvious, then it is not an invention. The next question in this area is, it is a routine experimentation or optimization, and does it have anything unexpected surprising? So we will continue with the same example. If you are working in a medicinal chemistry domain and you have come to a synthesis of a certain compounds with a certain scheme. So in that scheme, adding certain catalysts or adding certain, giving certain energy, external energies is a routine experimentation, and you are banking on that only, because if I set my temperature at 40 degrees, then and then only I will get this product at this much of yield. Then it is a routine experimentation. It will not be qualified as an inventive state. And again, you have to see there if there are any unexpected or surprising results. Like if you have done, you have followed a particular path to achieve your invention, and you have seen certain unexpected results at the end of your experiment. then obviously you can call it as an inventor step. What kind of unexpected results? Say if the conventional synthesis method versus microwave assisted synthesis method. So definitely one can have more yield in the microwave assisted extraction compared to the conventional synthesis method. So yeah, the yield, the percentage of yield is unrestricted. If I perform the thing in that zone, then I will have the unexpected or surprising results at the end of my invention. Then the third important criteria for patentability requirement is industrial application. What is your invention? It should be made in an industry. Can it be made in an industry? What is its use in an industry? And can it be practiced by a skilled person? So all the answers for this question should be yes. If yes, and then only it will be applicable in the industry. It's nothing but whether your invention can be made in industry, yes or no. The simple question and simple answer. So for novelty, the 3 points, the inventor step, the 3 points. But for this 3 points of inventor step, your answer should be no. Then only you can go, your invention can qualify for the patent. Then the patent application structure. So everyone might have seen the research articles and research publication papers. So there is certain criteria in that structure, that like title, abstract, the author information, introduction, material and methods, the result and discussion, and conclusion, and then followed by references. So same is the thing with the patent application. It is nothing a written document only. So there is a title and a technical field of invention. So in title, there is no certain defined definition of how the title should be, but it should be a scientific one. It should not be a very long one. It should be at least 1 or 2 liners, and it should come up. It should give the idea about what is actually there in the invention. Followed by technical field of invention. Technical field of invention is nothing but the gist of invention, which is it relates to. So if your invention relates to a formulation domain, pharmaceutical formulation of some XYZ drug, then your technical field should be like that. The invention relates to a pharmaceutical composition of this disease. And if your invention relates to a synthesis of certain novel compounds, then your technical field will be that the synthesis of the novel compounds, the invention relates to synthesis of some novel compound belonging to this class. So this kind of technical field of invention should be like this. Provided followed by that, there is a background of the invention with the prior acts. So this is important part. Prior acts. So what do you mean by prior acts? So name itself describes it is a prior art. Prior for what? Prior for your patent filing. So anything is available in the public domain before your filing of your patent application. So say if I file a patent application on 1st January of 2020. So anything which is available in the globe of any form is a prior art form before that day. So background of the invention needs to be sufficed with this information and a thorough literature survey. So while doing while drafting the patent application, before that you have carried a literature survey with you. So you have to mention over there what is actually known in this particular technical domain and what are the different prior arts. So this prior art may be a patent application, maybe non-patent literature like some review articles or research articles, maybe any presentations. So you have to mention the numbers over there or the title of that research article, that this particular article discloses this part and how my invention is different from this. So you have to give that information in background. Then summary of the invention and detailed description of the invention. So these two are, I call it as the heart of the patent application, because in summary and detailed description, the invention is described thoroughly. How you have arrived at the invention, how is the experimentation part is being carried out, what are the different embodiments which are covering your invention, how broader are you have evaluated the various excipients or various parameters which are there in your invention. So that kind of information is there given in the form of certain paragraphs. So those paragraphs are maybe a 4-line, 5-line paragraph. So that paragraphs are called as embodiments. So in patent language, a paragraph is called as embodiments. So there are certain embodiments which are talking about certain excipients, the ratio of those excipients, certain parameters which are there in your invention, or the basic things which are there, which fulfill the criteria for that patent application. The example part or the example part is also part of the detailed description. Examples are also at the end of the description with certain drawings, if there are any drawings with your invention, if there is any scheme related or an chemistry related invention. So you have to furnish the detailed description with this kind of information. And then the soul of any patent application, that is claim. For patent, the claim is the at the most important part of any patent application because that claims define the legal boundaries of the patent. Anything related to that patent should be there in the claims, which will give a definite shape to that boundaries, which will give you the scope of that patent application. So that which define the legal boundaries. So if someone is falling into that legal boundaries, then you cannot use that patent. So we will see in next slide how it is, and then it is followed by the abstract. So abstract is the gist of the invention. You can straight away, technical field of the invention can be the abstract. Then we will see the sequence of events. So if you are trying for patenting an invention, so what are the sequence you have to follow? The first, very most important, you have decided to file a patent application. So congratulations, that you are doing wonderful job. You see that your invention work or your experiment is capable of getting a patent. You are moving in that direction. So congratulations, and congratulate yourself also for that. So filing of patent application. So first thing you have to do is patentability assessment. So the word is very simple, patentability assessment. But if you start working on this, so it will take more time and more energy. Because what invention you have derived, you have to check whether that invention is novel, that invention will have an inventive step, and that invention is industrial applicable. So the earlier I told you that. How you will do this? You will by doing a thorough literature survey. You will conduct a literature survey of patent and non-patent. You will search for patent. You will search for non-patent literatures, and those things are those documents are called as prior arts. So depending upon that prior arts, you will define your strategy of your invention. You will draft your patent application as the art I have shown you earlier. You will draft your claims. You will decide what will be the legal boundaries of your patent application, and then your patentability assessment will be done. After that, there are certain due forms and fees of the patent offices. So you have to file certain applications along with your patent specification and the fees. First, you will file the patent application to the patent office. Along with that, there are certain forms. Then there is an examination form for that application. Unless and until you file an examination request for examination of your patent application, it will not be examined in any patent office. So it will be of no use. So yes, all these forms come with certain different fees. Once you have filed a patent application along with request for examination, that application will be examined by the certain patent examiners at the patent offices, and the examiner will throw us objections. So what are these objections? That objections are whether how we have done the patentability assessment. The patent examiner will also do his patentability assessment, and he will find out certain prior art, certain documents, which will make us hurdle to get that patent application. So that patent objections are there, and we have to respond to that patent objection in an applicant response. Applicants will you have to respond to those objections, and you have to get the patent granted. So depending upon your response, the Next step will be decided that whether it will be a grant of patent application or refusal of patent application. Say if it is a grant, then congratulations. Once again, you have patent application on your name. But if it is a refusal, then what? If it is granted, you have to pay the fees. Definitely, all things are costly here. But if it is refused, whether there is an appeal to re-hearing for that application, so no. In patent offices, once the patent application has been refused in the prosecution or by the patent examiner, you don't have any other chance to appeal. So these are certain milestones which are there in the patent prosecution. So we can call it as events. So first, we have decided that you want to go for your patent application. So you have a concept with you, you have an idea with you, and then you have practiced that idea with within your limitations of such expertise. Then you have drafted a specification. You have filed an application with the patent office with the various forms and fees. Then there will be a publication of your application. What application you have filed, there will be a publication of your application at the end of 18 months. So in next slide, I will show you the timeline. So we will talk more about that in the next slide. Then there will be examination of application. Just remember these events, what are there. I will explain you in the next slide. So examination of application, then the FER is first examination result, the objections which I was talking about. Depending upon that objection, you will respond to that FER. So one of the beauty here is that one can oppose to your patent application. A third party opposition, we call it as. If you have filed application and it has been published, so there is a chance that on our patent application, there is a pre-grant opposition. Pre-grant terms itself say that it is before the grant. So before grant, if there is any objection, one can go and file a pre-grant opposition at the patent office. You have to deal that separately. Then intent to grant, your patent has been granted. The notice of allowance will be issued to you. Then grant of the patent will be done. After publication, again, there is a 1 year time. If somebody wants to oppose that patent, he may file an opposition post-grant. So one was pre-grant and then one was post-grant. And then if it is granted, you have to maintain, you have to pay the maintenance fee periodically to maintain that patent application. So the events C to event J, which are there in the blue font, is a part of prosecution, what we call as patent prosecution, and others are the other events. So this is the typical patent timeline. So normally the patent timeline or the patent term is of 20 years that I mentioned earlier. So you can see 0 month to 40 months. So 0 months, it's the day of filing of your patent application. You file a patent application at the patent office on the day first, then you have a 12 months time window with you to file a complete or a PCT or a convention file. Now, what is PCT? If you want a wider protection of your patent application, apart from India, in various other countries, then you can opt for this PCT kind of filing. So in this route, you can go with the PCT filing or at the 12th month. And upon that, you have again 30 months, 30 month timelines on the day one to enter into different kind of countries based upon your first one. So this is what we call as national phase entries. Then after 18 months, your publication of that application will be followed. Then you will file a request for examination. The deadline for filing a request for examination from the date of filing is 48 months. Once the examination has been filed, then examination report will be generated. Then based upon that, if it is opposed, this curve, that is from publication till the grant of patent, it is open for the pre-grant opposition. After grant, it is also open for post-grant opposition. Then post-grant opposition period is ended after 1 year of the grant, and then the maintenance of the paying annuity. And at the end of the 20th year, the patent will be extended. This is how the timeline of a patent application is in India. Now, strategic patenting. When to file a patent application? So you have an invention with you, you have carried out an invention and with the base of your idea and concept. So you have an idea that this should be work as a patent. So you do the research of that, and you have made up your mind to file a patent application. You have filed and you seek the IP protection for that, and you got it also. So after that, you got the IP protection. It either directly you can license or collaborate it with the other industries of that domain, or if you are working in industry, and then it should be go under the development, manufacturing, and then after the market launch. So this is for the industries. This is for the academics. If you are in academics, you have IP protection. You can collaborate with the various agencies which can give up you to the which can introduce you to the various industries in that domain of your patent application, and then you can come into market and have the profit. So this is the cycle. So the question is when to file patent application. So I say, for me, it is as soon as possible. If you have an idea with you, if you have made up your mind that, okay, this is the only thing which I want a patent for that. So as soon as you think that, you should file a patent application and lock the priority date. Because what happens if you are working on that particular area, you never know at some corner of the world, someone is working on that area also. So if he filed that invention, same invention, and he's working on the same project, so you will not get a chance, because that person will file a patent application, and while patent assessment, you will get a patent, and your patent will be killed at that moment. So better you should go early as you can possibly. Then in strategic patenting, as earlier I told you that patent is articulation of science with the help of law and for the business. So the value which brings is very much important, but to bringing that value of that patent, time is required. You see in that timeline, after 5 years that patent has been granted. So see how much time is required to actually go from an patent filing application to actual having the benefit. Because you have the right to exclude others, but that right is given to you only after the grant of that patent. If you have filed a patent application and it is there in the domain, so it doesn't mean that you have right. That right will be given to you only after grant of the patent application. And for grant of patent application, you will require time. Along with time, there are multiple resources, like your laboratory resources, your facility resources, your equipment, your maybe your experimentation part, anything. So time along with resources. Then what is actually the business benefit of that? Yes, you have filing a patent, you have filed a patent application, but what actually it means to you? Does it actually giving you any insights of business benefit? Yes or no? If it is yes, then and then only you can go for patent application. If it is no, then it is, I think, only a kind of some people will clap for you. Yes, you have patent application on your name. That's it. Because to run that patent application from the day 1 to the 20th year, you will require tremendous of cost. There is a lot of money required in this. It is a very costly effort. So one have to think thoroughly before going or before taking a deep dive into this patent. So this diagram is actually for the last decade, that what kind of patent quantities are there in the India, and irrespective of any domain. So you can see only 2% of pioneering inventions are there. Rest is new generation, significant improvements, minor improvements. So 60% are the inventions are there, which are only minor improvements to the previous ones. So yes, but cost is required. So you have to think what you want to achieve further. Only a patent for your purpose of adding into your CV or your resume is good, but at this cost, you have to think. Then certain additional tweaks are there. So patent versus research publication, the balance. If you want to go for a research publication, then what and the same invention you want to go for patent. So how you can go? First go with patent, then file the research publication. Because if you file research publication earlier, then it will be a prior art for you, your own prior. So you have to maintain this balance. Then the next question is, do all inventions really need patent protection? So you need to ask this question to yourself first, because in your academics curriculum, you will be working on various projects on various aspects. So that those all aspects or those all projects need a patent protection, yes or no, that you have to decide. Then patenting is a costly affair. So choose the right horse on patent. As earlier I said, all patent application, all inventions need not to be patent protection. So you have to choose those only which can give you some benefit at the end. So choose the right horse to bet. Then you should also respect some institutional IP policies and service contracts within your organization. Like all your students now, so what are the institutional IP policies of your college or of your institute? So you have to respect those also. Then if there is any commercial need in the market, then and then only there will be value to your patent. If there is no need, then there will be no one. Like in today's pandemic session, we see that vaccines are coming now. But why there has been a delay in the vaccine manufacturing or actually market capturing of these vaccines? Because IP. You will not believe, but vaccines were prepared, manufactured at very early stage, but due to the IP aspects only, they are introduced into market at a later on stage. Because if they have introduced vaccines at the earlier stage, they wouldn't have take benefit, because all other will then copy from of their inventions, and they will also start selling their vaccines into market. So likewise, they will not be benefited. So you have invention with you, you file the patent application, and then enter into market. Then enforcement of patent is a patent's responsibility. Yes, that is important, because no one can help. If you have a patent with you and you are sitting in Mumbai, so you are enjoying that, yes, I have a patent on a particular area, but you don't know whether someone in Kerala or someone sitting in Delhi is actually using your invention. So how you will get to know about that? So that is your responsibility. You have to check whether there is any product in the market which is actually violating your patent rights, yes or no. That you have to choose. You have to see. But there is an exemption for research, that research or no patent office or no patent can stop you for research or educating others. So you can use any patented product, any patented process for research activity only, not from that. No one will stop. So as I said earlier, the mantra is the balancing science and law. So patents is very much related to law, but yes, it is his arm or his roots are there in the science. So you have to balance this science and law kind of thing and go ahead. So yes, there are certain things which God doesn't understand. That's why he created lawyers like us. So we can manipulate with the minds of people and get things going. Thank you so much for this session. Now I think I will open the session for the discussions on pharma IPR as career options and question answer of your subjects. I can see various questions in the chat box. No, there are yes. Sorry. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful and so much informative webinar. And really, I mean, the way you have put examples and it's really amazing. So thank you so much for the information. Before, for audience, we are open to questions. You can always put the questions in the chat box. But while taking registrations also, we asked if they had any specific question for the speaker. So I'll just read those questions for you.
Yes.
So the first question is, what special skills or areas do we need to focus to pursue pharma IPR in future?
Yes, there are particular diploma courses available for this kind of domains, IPR. Unfortunately, there is no a single course is available which is particular towards the pharma IPR or any other IPR. But there is a university, Nalsar University is there. So one can check. There are certain distance learning programs for that of 1 year or 2 years. So if one wants to pursue his career into IPR domain, that course is very useful. And there are again various certain certification courses are also available. So one have to check for that. The best way to do this is that you have to stay in connect with the people who are actually working in this domain. So that is first most important. If one has desired to work in this domain, just go to those persons who are actually working in the domain. So those are the people who actually will feed you how to grow over here. Because it is impossible, it is very difficult to find out by yourself.
Right, really very important advice, I would say, Dr. Gaurav. So the next question is there a need to do an LLB in law for getting into patent field?
It is advisable, but not a mandatory thing. So, like if you are working in, I will talk only in pharma domain. So yes, we have some people who have done the LLB part, but it is not a mandatory that it is only it's up to you if you want to explore more into the law domain. Then after your post graduation, you can opt for the LLB course and you can study that. But it is not a mandatory kind of thing to work in pharma IPR.
Right. Thank you. So the next question is there any opportunity in the field of pharma IPR in the USA?
In the USA, see, there are opportunities, but to have actually going into USA, there are certain country guidelines which one we have to follow. So there might be some specific job criteria in those countries. So if you are fulfilling those criteria, then you can think of working in that domain into US things. But in India also we have in every domain we have many organizations which are dealing with the US market. So by sitting here only, you can actually work for US market. So why to go there and invest?
Okay, yes. I guess we have somebody from Italy also. So the
Yes.
question is how to apply for patents in Italy?
Okay. In Italy, say if you're a resident of India, then you have to take permission from Indian Patent Office first. Under Indian Patent Act Section 39, you have to take a prior permission that you are going to file a patent application outside India. There are two modes. First, you need to file a patent application in India, and at the end of 12th month, you need to file a PCT application. And then after that PCT file application, you will enter into Italy as a national affairs entry, or you enter into Europe first, and then after grant you can validate your patent into Italy. So that is one option. The second option is you can take a prior permission from Indian Patent Office. Generally, this kind of permission, the controller will give permission within 21 days only. So it is a speedy step. So after that, you can directly connect with patent attorneys or law firms over there in Italy and get in contact with them and file. Because you as a sole, you cannot file in Italy as your own. You need to have some backup from the patent law firms.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a question here. How to confirm whether the same patent has already been published or researched? So is there any database or how can the people know?
Like if you are working, I will take one example for this. If you are working on one molecule, say metoprolol. If you are working on a metoprolol, so you need to find what are the patent application on that domain on that particular drug. So for this, yes, we have a different databases with us. there are certain free databases and there are paid databases. So depending upon the nature of the work or the organization need, you will search for those databases. So as you're all connected to ACS, so SciFinder you might have known.
Yeah,
So
right.
yes, you can use SciFinder. You can just go and do the searches for metoprolol in the SciFinder and refine the searches for document as patent type only. And then you have to go through each and every patent application and see what is actually disclosed over there and how your invention is different from those disclosed one.
Thank you so much.
Again, there are free databases also.
Yeah.
Google Patent is also there. So you can go into Google Patent. Indian Patent website is also there. So, but it is a tricky job. You need to develop those skills first for patent searching, and then only you will be able to use those databases.
Okay, thank you so much. So the next question is, does IP protection have limits? Any limits?
IP protection have limits means it is a territorial right. So if you have a patent in India, so that limit is, it will be only in India. If you have a patent protection in India and somewhere in Italy is using that process, so you cannot enforce your patent application to that person in other country. So that is only one limit, but it is a territorial right. So that is the only one limit for IP protection.
Okay. So is it possible to patent a drug compound for its biological activity if it has already been patented for another bioactivity?
This kind of patent application will be for a new use, but if that molecule has been already patented, so you cannot patent that compound per se, but yes, you can have a method of use patent for that molecule, saying that the compound is for the treatment of XYZ. What is the new indication is there? So yes, you can go for patent protection of that drug for a different kind of activity domain, but not as a compound per se. It will be a method of use kind of thing.
Okay. So the next question is, what are the challenges when you and your competitors file the patents at the same time? What are the level of research to file the patent? And is there any rights? Are there any rights if we can sell the patents to particular organization or company? What are the minimum criteria? So it's a bunch of questions together.
So we will just go one by one. So just the first
And that,
the first one
so
was,
first one was so first one was the challenges when you and your competitors file the patents at the same time.
okay, at the same time means what? At the same day, on the same day? Because
So,
it is actually not possible at the same day. If you are one day prior to that, then you will get the patent, because for patents, first to file is considered. So it is first come first service kind of service. So if you have filed first, then your patent application will go through all the legal things, all the prosecution things, and you will grant a patent based upon your patentability evaluation. But the other patent, there is a criteria for that 12 months should be there before those. If you have filed a patent application and within 1 year from your patent filing application, the same invention has been filed. So both can go forward because it is between 12 months of time period. But if it is after 12 months time period, then no, because that application is published one, so it will be used as a priority.
okay. So what is the level of research we need to file the patent? I guess you must have covered it in
Yes.
the
So
presentation.
yes.
Yeah, if you want to
Level
add
of
on.
research. No, I told you with some examples that if you have a certain scheme, so you have to go for that. The patentability assessment is a very much important criteria in this. So there is a myth that patents are for only complex inventions, so which is actually not correct. So you can have for any minute thing also. So that myth is there. Patent means as soon as we heard the term patent, so it is like, oh, what is it? So it is not like
Yeah.
it's just a simple process. Simple thing can also be patented. I will show you some examples that there are multiple patents, interesting patents are there. I have not put those in slides, but you can find in just Google some interesting patents. You can get a list of that.
Okay. We have a question from Runal Bhogre. Are
Okay.
MOU patents patentable in India?
Our MOU patent are patentable in India. So no, method of use patents are not patentable in India because once the molecule is patented in India, so everything related to that molecule is combined to be connected in that patent only. So if there is only one possibility, if this the molecule is for any another indication prior to first one and is having some therapeutic efficacy to the prior one, then yes, maybe qualifies. But that should be not at the same compound. It should be some modifications to that prior compound. But as a MOU per se, it is not.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Runal.
Hope so.
Okay. So the next question is, what skills or certifications or time like little courses that we have online should be preferably done if we want to as an undergrad pursue IPR further? Like, what is your recommendation?
There are n number of courses, but most of them are after PG. So post graduation diplomas are there. So if you want to go with those, so keep a track on that. Complete your PG, and along with your PG when you're in your final semester or in final year, you can opt for those courses. So there are n number of courses. You just Google it. It will be easy to find out, and just connect with me. I will tell you later on if someone wants to actually go into this career, then I'm available. You can just connect with me. I will.
Yeah, that's really great. So we have another question from Shubham. He asks, is patent transferable to other person or organization?
Transfer means you can license those patents to others. If a person is there having one patent, so a person can completely transfer his ownership to B. So that can happen. But there are certain legal forms which are there which we have to fulfill to the patent officers. So there will be just the assignee transfer will be there. And yes, of course, it should be come with certain deals. So that person A and person B will have some mutual agreements with them. So upon that only, that rights will be transferred from one to. So there is a form 16 is available in Indian Patent Office. So by filing that form 16, one can transfer his rights. Because many of times, see what happens if a person actually has come to an accident or death is happened to that person. So in those kind of situations, these kind of forms are used.
Yeah, thank you. I hope it answers Shubham's question. We have another question from Gopal. What are the penalties charged if someone is found misusing someone's patent?
There are not such penalties charged, but that person who is having patent can sue you in the district court. So based upon that litigation in the court will order how the things will go on. So by the Indian Patent Act, there are no such penalties, but yes, the district court can order it in any direction, or you have to give your royalty to the patent owner what actually you have been used, or in certain cases, if you have already marketed those patent protected products into the market, so a recall of your products is there, and what is that benefit you have gained during those time, you have to give it to the patent owner.
Does that answer your question, Gopal?
I think yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So another question we have is how to avoid patent infringement pitfall.
Say if you want to avoid patent infringement, first you have to see what kind of infringement are there if you are doing something. Say if you have a formulation kind of thing with you, if you are evaluating a formulation patent and you see your formulation is actually infringing the patents, there is a literal infringement, direct infringement is there. So you should avoid using those elements which are claimed. So if there is in the claims a pharmaceutical composition of XYZ drug with limitations of A, B, C, D, so you should avoid using those A, B, C, D first as a qualitative per se. But if you think that you must need those elements into your invention, then you need to seek that whether is there any quantitative limitation given to those parameters. So avoid those quantitative limitations. And again, there are various ways and means to actually design around some patent claims. So you need to follow those kind of things. But for easiest way is that don't use which is there in the claims, the elements. So that will help for non-infringement at the very basic level. But this question is actually a very vast question. If I need to explain it, so it will again we will one session for that. But it is a very vast topic, how to design around the patents.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Of course, people can reach out to you if they want to.
Yes, definitely.
If possible, Dr. Gaurav, is it okay if I share your email ID with?
Yes, you can share my email ID, my WhatsApp number to the participants. If one can, they can connect with.
Yeah, you may reach out to me.
And again, if you want any another session on any such interesting topics, I am also available for that. So if you guys think that this could be a brainstorming for us, this we can also look forward to that directions.
Thank you so much. That feels great. We have another question from Aditi. So generic medicines also pay a part of their income to the brand company who first thought of the product. I guess it's an interesting question.
Just repeat the question.
Yeah, I would repeat. So do generic medicines also pay a part of their income to the brand company who first thought of the product? So the pioneer company for the drug.
So actually, generic company do not pay to the pioneer or the innovator company. So I will make it as simple. That is, there is one company which is an innovator company, so who have invented a particular product and they are having certain patents. There is a company B, which is a generic, which is actually selling that product A as a generalized medicine in the market. So the question is that whether the company B actually pays to company A for actually selling those products.
Yeah.
So no, there is.
Mrunal suggests maybe she thinks maybe she wants to say settlement. Is there some settlement?
Yes. So I was coming to that.
Oh, thank you.
So there is nothing to pay for that. But yes, if it is in litigation mode, so it can reach into three things that innovator company may own, and they may they can inject the generic company into the market. Second, that generic company may own, and they will continue to the presence there in the market. And third is the settle. So if it is settled, then both company can be stable in the market and grow.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Aditi? Yes. Okay. So she says yes. Another interesting question we have is why do drug patent expire?
Why do drug patent expire?
Yeah.
Actually, it is nothing a drug patent or any patent. It has a certain time bound limit. So we are in this kind of environment that everybody wants to grow. So there is a certain only monopoly is given to that pioneer or innovator company for a certain limited period of time only. So in that time, whatever amount has been incurred by that company in the development of that drug product has been earned by the market, and on that the other benefits also, the revenue generation. But after that, each and every other company need to fulfill the need of the peoples. Because if only innovator company is there in the market and they are charging 1,000 rupees for 10 tablets, so it will not be feasible for common people to buy those tablets. So for that, there is a limited monopoly time given to the patent innovators. Because after that, any generic company can enter into the market and market is generic and fulfill the needs of customers.
Thank you so much. I guess this is our last question for today. Can
Okay.
inventions be protected only by patents?
Like in the starting only, I told you that IP has divisions, that is
Right.
patents, trademarks, copyrights, geographical indication. So you need to understand what kind of your invention is. So if your invention is going towards patents, then yes, if it is artistic work or any musical works, then you can go for copyright. If it is a geographical indications like we have Solapuri chadar is very famous. So that Solapur chadar, so it is a geographical indication. Like strawberries of Mahabaleshwar are very famous. So it is a geographical indication. So this kind of things are there in geographical indications. Then also there are trademarks. So if one want to have the trademark of their company organization, then they go. I have a very interesting story for regarding trademarks. So everybody must have seen the movie Simba of Ranveer Singh. So there was a trademark litigation going on that movie. So if anybody can just spell out the spelling of Simba in the chat box of that movie, just 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, just spell out the movie spelling of that movie. Like, anybody? No one has seen the movie yet, or what?
You can also unmute maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yes. So it is, yes, Brunal has clearly given it is SIMMBA. So why there is a double M in this? Because previously it was SIMBA, but there is one brewery company in the Chhattisgarh which has their trademark as SIMBA for their products. So actually that company sued Rohit Shetty into the court that you cannot use our trademark. And then there was a settlement between them, and then they use this SIMB. So yes, there are various means by which you can protect along with patents, which depends upon what is your type of invention is. I hope the answer is satisfied.
Yeah, I guess it's well illustrated by you with the example. So thank you so much, Dr. Gaurav. Now,
Yes.
since it's the end of the session, I would like to invite our chapter vice president, Ms. Manali Somanna, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. And good evening, everyone. I'm Manali Somana, Vice President for the ACS Bombay College of Pharmacy Student Chapter. And it's my honor and pleasure to give the vote of thanks today. Truly, it was a very engaging webinar on intellectual property rights. I would like to thank our speaker for today, Dr. Gaurav. Thank you for your wonderful insights on today's topic and for addressing everyone's doubt with ease. Thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to come here today. I would like to thank our faculty advisor, Dr. Krishna Iyer, our faculty co-advisors, Dr. Sagar Patel and Dr. Elvis Martis, and the whole ACS-BCP team for organizing and managing today's webinar. I would like to thank every faculty member for taking time off their busy schedule and attending this webinar. I would also like to thank the undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD students who have attended this event and have engaged in it with such great interest. We have posted the link for the feedback form in the chat box. Please fill it as soon as possible. Lastly, I would like to request everyone to switch on the videos for us to take a screenshot of today's participants.
Yeah.
Aditi, please confirm once you are done.
We'll wait for a minute, I guess.
It's done. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Gaurav. It was a pleasure to
Yes.
have you here.
Thank you so much.
Also, kindly fill the feedback form in the chat box and we may call it a day.
Will I get the feedback response?
Yes, of course, sir. I would share with you.
Yes.
That would be definitely positive.
We never know, just.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned my email ID and WhatsApp number to all that. If they want anything, so they can be in touch with me for any guidance from you.
For sure.
Yes. Thank you so much.